Hello, Shelley. We're here to talk about the Twilight Zone.
Hello.
And this time I'm not just talking into a stupid camera. I can talk into my wife's face.
Talking to my stupid face?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about definitely one of our favorite shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is episode 3. This is Mr. Denton on Doomsday. What the hell is Mr. Denton on Doomsday about?
Well, it's about a dude who was a gunslinger. And then he became a drunk after his last shootout.
Oh, you mean it's the story of the Waco kid? For the Twilight Zone, the first episode, I think, is pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because of the whole idea that the whole episode, you're like, what is this insane situation this guy is in? And at the end, you're like, whoa, crazy twist and all that. And then episode 2, I think, is a lot better episode. You know,
what's episode 2?
That's the one with the old man who's like the guy who sells crap on the side of the road, and the little girl gets hit by a car because he didn't want to go die.
Oh wow, that's
he didn't
already
want the
the
Grim
second
Reaper saver.
one. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and so that episode, you know, is like pretty good. It's got a lot of heart to it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, this episode is, to me, it's like like a little bit of a roller coaster for the series already. That like the first one's like kind of okay, it's kind of funny. There's some funny stuff in there, like unintentional comedy, and then the second one's pretty damn good. And then this one, I think, is like it's not quite as good. But, I mean, it's got some funny stuff in it, too, I think.
I don't know how much of that was intended to be as silly. It's like I hadn't seen this one in a while, and we were laughing at a lot. And
Yeah. I think some of the things that kind of made me laugh is, like, how kind of insane the writing is, though. So you said Denton is this old drunk. He used to be a hot shit gunslinger, and he was constantly getting challenged by people because they knew he was the man. He got tired of killing people all the time, and it threw him into depression when he finally ended up having to kill a teenager. I don't know the names of any actors in this whole episode except for Martin Landau, because Martin Landau is just the best. I mean, all the actors are really good. Like the main character is really good, is a really good actor too, but we all love Martin Landau because he does the best Bela Lugosi that anyone will ever do ever, and I'm pretty sure he won an Academy Award for playing Bela Lugosi on Ed Wood, which is badass.
And the Oscar goes to Martin Landau and Ed Wood.
He is out there. Martin Landau is making him sing for liquor because he's a booze maniac, and he's like passed out drunk, right? He passes out drunk in front of the bar, and then there's a gun just laying there when he wakes up.
no, he's outside in the road. He almost gets hit by that carriage.
Right after that, the supernatural starts to happen, and some weird dude is just standing there looking creepy because it's Twilight Zone. A gun like just appears by him. Now this gun is going to be the impetus for the story, like really starting, I guess. And we're talking about things that are funny because the writing is weird in this episode. And
The whole logic is weird.
I'm pretty sure Rod Serling wrote this one. Some of his stories do have some like weird, like logical leaps to where I think he's just like, don't think about it too much. But then I want to think about it. I do want to think about it because I've seen this episode a billion times. So what happens is he's got the gun. Martin Landau sees him holding a gun, and he's all like, oh, so you're a gunslinger now. Why don't you come out here and fight me? And then he goes out there and he doesn't want to fight Martin Landau. But it's like the weirdest thing because he's like holding the gun and he's trying to like tell the whore to explain to Martin Landau that I don't want to fight you. But then the whole time he's like playing with the hammer on the fucking pistol and he's like jingling it around in his hand at him. Mm-hmm. And then this is a guy who was a professional gunfighter, apparently.
Yeah,
but he doesn't realize he can't point a gun at another man. That's probably going to end up shooting somebody.
And everybody's just standing there while he does it in the way.
Yeah. Everybody's standing there watching him do it. And he does it for a really long period of time. And the gun goes off, shoots the gun out of the dude's hand. Martin Landau's like, what the F? And he's like, dude, no, it was an accident. I didn't do anything. And it's like, what? Am I the only one here that sees how crazy this is? He shoots the gun out of his hand, and then immediately the bartender and everybody wants to buy him a drink because they all hate Martin Landau.
And they're calling him Sir.
And they call him Sir because Martin Landau comes back in the bar, tries to have another gunfight with him. Mm-hmm. And again, this is twice in like just 3 minutes, and he's playing with the gun again. And he's like, blue, and he has his finger on the trigger and he's flipping the gun around. And then he shoots the lamp down and it hits Martin Landau and knocks him out. And now everybody's like, you're the best man ever. And everybody wants to buy him a drink.
Yeah, of course.
And everybody starts calling him Sir. He gets like this, what is it? All this self-worth now. He feels like a real man again now or something because they called him Sir because he can shoot people good. And and then the guy tries to give him liquor and he's instantly not an alcoholic anymore.
Yeah.
It's just instantly, I don't dig booze anymore, pal. And he says he's going to go get a shave, even though it looks like it's only been 3 days since he shaved. Or I don't know, maybe that's just me, but it looks
like his hair looks like he hasn't had a bath in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it looks like he needs his hair cut and he needs a shower.
Like he looks homeless.
Yeah, and he goes outside to get a shave, and shoot, doesn't something else happen like right then?
Isn't that where?
Oh yeah,
isn't her name is Smith, and
I remember
she comes out.
Yeah.
And he gives his speech about proving himself
to a
16-year-old boy.
That's what it was.
And then she kind of looks down like she remembers when a 16-year-old came and proved himself to her last week at the bar. Or the whorehouse.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because that was another thing in the story that I thought was funny was when she comes out to him while he's leaving to go get a shave. And she goes, so-and-so in there says that you're as good as you ever were. And I'm like, he shot a dude's gun out of his hand and he shot a chandelier. I don't think that's going to make him like as good as he used to be.
Yeah.
Like just in 5 seconds like that. Not to mention that he like just quit booze.
Yeah, it's like amazing
now.
Like what they're thinking makes him a man, makes him respectable. It's hilarious. But he is having this like big talk with a prostitute, so I guess her ideas are maybe a little bit messed up anyway. But.
Well, I just think it's funny that in the logic of the story, it's like that bartender or whoever it was is like, okay, so Denton's a badass now, and he's stupid, but then he tells the whore, yeah, and she's stupid too because she believes it. And it's like, dude, this guy can't even hardly stand up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this dude just quit booze like 5 seconds ago. Like, get real, man. Come on, this dude is not gonna be Clint Eastwood. But
why
the funny
do they want
thing
to
is,
keep buying him more liquor?
well, and the thing is like after this, he, that's when he tells her the story about like, everybody wanted to fight me when I was a big gunslinger guy and all that. And I don't want it to happen again, but it's going to happen now because all you people are going to tell everybody and everybody's going to come here wanting to fight me. And so he goes to get a shave because he's assuming he's going to end up getting killed sooner or later. Mm-hmm. And it's like literally like, what is it? The next day? and some guys come in to tell him like, yo.
No, he had enough time to shave his face.
Oh, it was the same day. Okay, so it was the same day.
That's it.
It was the same freaking day, and guys come in to say some dude's coming to town to kill you at 10 o'clock tonight. And it's like, what? What? What did y'all like send a fucking dude out on a horse to another city and be like, quick, this old guy is really good at shooting guns. And then this kid shows up who looks like he's like, I don't know, maybe 19 years old.
No, he looks like a baby with 9-foot legs.
You know what's funny though? When I looked at him again, he kind of reminds me of I forget the actor's name, but it was the guy. It was the guy that was in the 5th season of Breaking Bad, the one that kept Walter locked in the basement. Do you remember the young-looking redheaded guy? He was also in, he was the one that was like making Jesse clean his house and stuff.
I do not agree with that at all.
Oh, really? I don't know. He just kind of got that look to me. He looked like kind of a young ginger-looking sort of dude or whatever.
He reminds me of somebody. I don't know who the heck it is. Maybe it's that little dude from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. But anyway.
I mean, I'm sorry. Willy Wonka. I'm just going to shut up now. Because now I can't keep up with this crap anymore.
Willy.
There's too damn many of.
Yeah.
I mean, the blonde Charlie with the good movie, dang it, with Gene Wilder. I would never mean anything. Ugh.
It all goes back to Gene Wilder.
Yes. Dadgummit.
But yeah, so he's freaked out about the guy coming, and he's going to leave. He's just going to leave town.
Yeah, he wants to leave town.
Which is funny because it's like, I guess he didn't say that to the prostitute because she would have been like, "Hey, everybody, this little pussy's going to leave town." So I don't know. Maybe he just kept to himself. But I was thinking to myself, like, why didn't you just leave town in the first place? If you just don't want to fight people. But anyway, so he gets ready to pack up, and he sees this creepy old man eyeing him in the window of his hotel room, and you're just like, okay.
Was that when he was bent over the wagon looking creepy?
That was when the old man.
A little bit later?
That's when the old man was presenting his backside in the middle of the street to the wagon, and he's eyeing Mr. Denton and smiling at him.
Like, what am I going to do to this wagon?
Well, the funny thing is that Mr. Denton leaves his room and comes down to talk to creepy old man, and the old man already knows what's going on. And he's like...
he doesn't even question it either.
Yeah, he's like, you are running away. And it's like he already knows what Denton's doing. And Denton's like, yeah, well, what do you want me to stay here and get killed? And then creepy old man says, I got this bottle of potion that's going to make you a super good gunfighter, but it only lasts 10 seconds.
It's great because it's like a little square spice bottle. It's like, what is he going to just drink some dry cumin? I would have loved to see him cough a puff of...
Why would he eat
And then he'd
cumin?
start singing how
Why
dry
would he
I
eat
am.
that?
I don't know. We have a spice bottle that's square with the silver lid just like that. It's got cumin.
Okay, so he gets the bottle of magic gunfighter potion, and he's like, okay, well, it's all good then. So now he is like going into the bar. He's hanging out, and he don't even give a shit anymore because he's got his magic potion bottle. And then this 12-year-old boy walks in and wants to shoot him.
He's like the tallest kid in the world. He's got like such a baby face.
He's the tallest, yeah.
These curls, these blonde curls, and these little dimples with his hat sticking back on his head like a little boy.
It's kind of weird, too. It's like this really young kid wants to come in and just murder this old man because he heard he's good at gunfighting. Like, it was like, was everybody's dick so tiny back in the old days of the West that if you heard some guy was good at something, you had to go to a fucking train and you had to take a train to the next town to go kill him? It's like, what the fuck? That doesn't even make sense. I don't get it at all. But anyway, so he shows up and he's not afraid because he's got his magic gun potion, and he's like, all right, old man, we're gonna fight. And he's like, okay, bitch. hold on, let me turn around and chug my magic potion.
He just does it right, kind of in front of everybody. Like, he really does not try to hide. He's just like...
Well, nobody knows what it is. I mean, it's like he got it from some magic fucking
little boy
spice peddler. Like, nobody knows what that shit is.
Yeah.
But then, then that's the twist. That's the twist of the episode. Like, every Twilight Zone doesn't have a twist. I know a lot of people are assholes and try to say that that's all the Twilight Zone is. But, like, that is the twist for this specific episode, is that he takes a potion...
He twists around and then you find out the twist.
He does the twist, yes. He twists around and then you get to see the twist.
The old man twists around behind the wagon and is like...
The old man twists his behind.
I got a potion I can twist around and give you.
So the twist is that Denton drinks his magic potion. He's ready to fight. And then babyface 12-year-old boy has the same potion. Bada bing. Guess what? Okay. So now they both... I like the scene where they're eyeing each other, because that's when they're like, well, what the fuck's going to happen now? Like, I drank it and you drank it too. We can't beat each other because we both drank it. You know?
Yeah, it's like he's already drank his, and the kid turns around after he's like, what the crap? And then... he drinks it anyway, about a minute later.
Yeah.
And then they look at each other, like you said, and then they both just say, screw it, we're doing this anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty,
we're still
cool.
going to see who's the best. Somebody's still going to win.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I think that's what happens when your penis is like really small. Like, even if you know you're probably going to die, you're just like, I can't let this man show me up. I heard he's good at something. I have to kill him. So they do it. And they shoot the guns out of each other's hands. And I love the part where just some random asshole with a black hat walks into the shot and says, "It's a draw, boys." And I just it still is killing me that it's like this guy just designated himself as the gunfight referee out of nowhere. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, really? Did they both just shoot the guns out of each other's hands? It's a draw? No shit, idiot. Like, what the fuck? Is this complicated? Did we need a referee for this? But then it gets even funnier because the doctor immediately walks up to him and starts wrapping their hands up, saying, "You'll never use this hand again to shoot a gun. Your trigger finger is gone forever," or something. And oh my God, it's so stupid, and I love it.
Nobody could ever learn with the other hand.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, this is one of the best episodes because it's schlock. It's pretty good, actually. The more I think about it, the funnier it is. Especially the stupid writing choices, but is definitely entertaining all the way through.
Yeah,
I think like seriously, with this being the first Western episode of Twilight Zone, it's cool that it kind of has that feel of a classic intense Western like High Noon, where you really want to see what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I know that I've heard a lot of writers talk about in Westerns, Westerns are awesome stories to write because there is not a bunch of extra bullshit to get in the way of the story. Westerns have like just a few types of MacGuffins, you know what I mean? Like, you can only do so much with a Western, so the strength has to be in the writing there, you know what I mean? It's not like a sci-fi story where you can just create some weird bullshit that doesn't exist. Like in a Western, you have to stay really grounded in reality, but not even like regular reality. You're like very far back in, you know, the development of technology. So
when you find the guy, there's no hologram.
You find the guy with no, yeah, there's not a hologram.
There's no hologram Tuco taking a bath.
There's no Mr. Denton going, ha 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 ha. You think this is the real Denton? It is. So this story is happy end because they both hurt their hands, which means that neither one of them is going to die in a gunfight now. Hooray. Mm-hmm. But the kid is like really sour and pissy because he wanted to show everybody that his dick was bigger than Mr. Denton's, and he can't now. So he's sad about that. But Denton is like, you're blessed, son. You're never gonna die now from a gunshot wound. I think this episode, it was pretty fun. I mean, you know what I mean? Like going back and rewatching it, it's like the moral, I guess, is like don't shoot people with guns. Don't become a gunfighter. But you know, like the
I don't know. The morality is so screwed up.
Yeah,
in this episode,
there's not really a good lesson in this episode, I guess. But I guess the lesson is that because we didn't mention that the old creepy man's name is like his last name is Fate. And I'm just like, Fate, really?
Yeah, and
he's like, hi, my name is Artemis Q Fate. I'm here to help you with this magic potion. It's like
the opening monologue is like saying he would sell part of his soul for a chance to redeem himself. It's like, no, see, they don't understand. It's like what's happened to him is he's already lost part of his soul. That's what he's doing on the ground, drinking out of a broken liquor bottle. I
think that it's like, it's funny because it's like this episode is so schlocky and ham-fisted. It almost makes you think like, did he write this one schlocky on purpose?
It must be.
Here's a good example, right? So in a couple episodes, we're gonna get to the one with the man, Cat Walliger. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so since you don't know what I'm talking about, that's how you know it's a good name for a character. And we'll get there eventually when we get to that episode. But just everybody remember that I said this because Artemis Q Fate, that is an obvious hit you over the head with what this character's purpose is, right?
Yeah.
But then when you get to the episode with Cat Walliger, that name doesn't tell you shit. That's subtle. You know what I mean? So I think that this episode is kind of stupid, but it's pretty fun. Anything else you want to say about this episode of Twilight Zone?
It's been a while since I've seen this, a few years, so I mean, I definitely noticed how silly the gunshots were, like the ones where fate made them happen, you know, like I don't think I ever noticed quite how ridiculous those were. Yeah,
it's almost like he was using mind powers or something, wasn't it? Yeah, it's weird because, you know, some Twilight Zone episodes are, it's like, you know, you got your different types. You know, you got your heartfelt emotional episodes. You got your ones that are like, I don't know how you'd say, like, I would say like legitimately fucking horrifying episodes. Yeah. Like some episodes of this show that we're going to get to, like if I sit there and think about them too long, like it'll give me chills still. This is shit from the 60s. You got your episodes that are like whimsical episodes, you know, and you have at least two episodes that we'll get to eventually that are what I like to call chicken fried dog shit, that I think that Rod Serling should have balled them up and thrown them in a trash can. And boy, oh boy, when we get to those, you'll know which episode I'm talking about when we get to those, because the episodes are so bad that he fucking took this bad episode and he rewrote it and made it another episode. So you get the same horrible episode twice with two different actors. And anyway, so the last thing I want to say about this episode is it has probably one of the top 10 best songs on the series.
How dry I am, how dry I am.
Charlie, can't you break that up?
Nobody knows.
I don't like it any more than you do. The misery they give that guy out there.
How dry I am, nobody cares. How dry I am.
And the weird thing is for somebody who he's like really bad at singing in key. And
yes.
and I think originally I had thought about like trying to figure out what key the song was in, but he sings it so out of key that I'm like, I don't even know what key that song's supposed to be in, because he keeps going to like, nobody knows how dry I am, or something like that. And I'm like, what
Yeah, I was saying he's the worst bar drunk singer or whatever.
Yeah.
The worst drunk singer, but I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. He's not having a good time.
Yeah.
He's absolutely dry, like in his soul and everything. He's like, every orifice in his soul is all dry.
He's dry in his soul.
Yeah.
He's got to pay the toll.
Is that why the salesman is really bent
You want
over?
that
Because he was
that
broke
boy's soul?
and he's indicating what he'll have to do to pay for his
Got to pay the troll
cumin,
toll.
his little jar of cumin
Yeah, got to pay the troll
pew
toll.
pew spice.
Yep. Well, all right. I'm glad we finally got to sit down and talk about the Twilight Zone again.
Yeah, and watch some again.
And watch some again. And, yeah. Well.
And really enjoyed eating nacho cheese dip and taco shells while we watched that. It just wasn't enough taco shells because our dog ripped open the bag of our real nacho chips, and that's really depressing because we had good dip for once. So
Martin Landau's not here to shoot him.
Martin Landau would have just bought us a new bag of chips if we did whatever he asked.
God, I miss Martin Landau. The good news is there's actually going to be a much better episode of The Twilight Zone with Martin Landau coming down the road. So I'm excited about that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I guess how do we end this video?
How dry I am.
How dry I am. Yeah. Nobody knows how dry I am.
His little jar of cumin